Concert movement number 1. The basic head bob. Ready, go.
All right, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Rebecca Black commands it. Phone number is 244-0077. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. And follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Radio Bradshaw. Just go to thebradshawshow.com. It's got everything you need right there. It is an interesting day in the world. And again, it's a mistake sometimes. I admit this. To consume kind of the amount of right-wing media that I do. It, in a way, lowers your opinion of humanity. In this case, going through it and reading about the events going on in Tunisia, Yemen, Sudan, and then try to listen to the opinions of, like, if I just take, like, if you just pull a random number and grab a Rush Limbaugh or Mike Huckabee fan, what are the odds you think they could find Tunisia on a map?
About the same odds as yours before you looked.
No. All right, you see this behind me?
Yes, I see the Death Star.
All right, what franchise is the Death Star from?
Star Wars.
Where was a good chunk of Star Wars filmed?
That's a good point. Okay.
So, as a Star Wars fan...
But that's only because you're a nerd. I mean,
no,
you realize that's not common knowledge.
Well, I agree. It's not common knowledge, but it's not even... Because, again, I don't expect average, everyday people to have, a depth of knowledge. That's not like a scathing indictment. It's acceptance of reality. It's, hey, most people don't need to know where Tunisia, but they don't have like the base of knowledge to even figure it out. In some cases, that's willful ignorance. On others, it's just simply, a reaction of the world. Like, for example, I could not do... What is that?
Just wait.
Why am I hearing people...
You keep talking.
Oh, but like, okay, I couldn't do advanced trigonometry anymore. There was a time in high school where I could, passably... What is...
It's Friday.
Oh, no. This the Rebecca Black version is the only acceptable.
Stephen Colbert's version is amazing.
No, Rebecca Black. Only accept the original.
Okay. But Stephen Colbert is so funny.
No, you... No. But I mean,
such a hater.
No, people lead busy lives. We talked about this. They don't have a time to sit down and contemplate and fully source out, an annotated theory of everything when it comes to current events. That's why we watch the news. That's why we watch even opinion shows, even if they're bad opinions, like Bill O'Reilly. Again, who... He may be the luckiest man in television because his cranky old man routine after, you had Glenn Beck and you had Hannity, and they've gone so far kind of to the wacko land that he seems like a sane and moderate voice in the wilderness of screaming banshees. But to get back to why I hate people, we need to declare war on them. They're never exactly clear. These callers and right wing, who they are.
You mean those people?
Those people.
Okay.
Like, are you advocating war against Tunisia because of what happened in Tunis today? War against Libya? And this lack of understanding makes days like today all the more precarious. I don't think it's a stretch to say American in general are, for the most part, ignorant of the world around them. I mean, I'm not talking
We definitely have our own perspective. Definitely.
But I'm not saying like maybe a Sarah Palin level of ignorance.
Can you see Russia?
From my house? Yes, I know that was Tina Fey. Point being is that there are a lot of people who will use events that people have no context in and try to give them a context. And whether it's, Mitt Romney trying to, beat the president over the head with Sean Smith's still, cooling body on the evening of September 11th. To the warmongers today. And it's that sad irony that as we speak, there are people taking to the streets in, blind anger because a cleric, as a militia leader or a warlord, is doing the exact same thing, in Libya, in Sudan today. Protesters were storming the German and British embassies. Tunisia, they burned a KFC and an American school.
I understand the KFC, though, because Popeyes is way better.
No, you get what I'm saying here, though, is that it really is two sides of the same coin. Yesterday I played you the clip of Brian Fisher, who has become such an embarrassment by the Value Voters Summit, which historically would be the gist of the show on a day like today. Here's what's coming up this weekend in Crazy Fundyland. And maybe we'll have time on Monday. But as, Libyan officials and Egyptian officials are picking up the folks who actually attacked our consulate in Benghazi and our embassy in Libya, like the know-nothings can't help themselves. I understand the first instinct, the first gut reaction being anger. I felt it myself. The question is, what do you do with that? Yesterday was a little strange in that regard. From Boston to Kansas. We'll talk about that. First, what's going on right now? And embassies, not just American. Like I said, the UK, the British embassy in Sudan, the German embassy in Tunisia. Crowds went over the walls, burned down trees. An American school and a KFC were burned. Now, in the case of Khartoum, Dan, you know where Khartoum is?
No.
Okay. Khartoum is the capital of Sudan. Sudanese officials are firing guns into the air, getting folks out of there. We're learning more about the folks behind this film. Well, it's not even a film. It's a 13-minute trailer. And they played you a clip for it. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. I mean, not just in a, I'm trying to inflame the Islamic world bad. It's just bad. They lied to the actors and overdubbed all of the offensive parts into it in post-production with different voices. Turns out the man behind the film is actually on probation after a 2010 guilty verdict in a check kiting scam. And part of his probation, by the way, is he's not allowed to use the internet. So now officials are looking at him, his probation officer. He wasn't allowed to use the internet without permission, which I'm assuming he did not get for this. Good news, like I said, we've picked up some people in Libya and in Egypt.
Oh, no, this is horrible, Brett. This was a Hardee's and a KFC.
Egads.
Yeah. No, I'm reading about it now.
Ansar al-Sharia is, well, a terrorist group. You know, if the shoe fits. They were the ones behind the attack. They were the ones who used a angry protest as cover. You know, again, part of this is just U.S. We don't focus a lot on that area unless, you know, something bad happens. There are protests all the time. Whether it's urinating on corpses or some idiot in Florida wants to burn the Quran. They don't often come with RPGs. In this case, they did. It was a group of terrorists looking to use the protest as cover for an all-out military-style assault on our embassy. And not just the embassy, mind you. The safe house, according to people there, came under such well-directed mortar fire. You know, this was an aimed attack. The Libyan government announced that Ansar al-Sharia has been outlawed and will be disarmed by force if necessary and disbanded. According to the Libyan government, we are negotiating to dismantle it. We don't want bloodshed. But if they do not agree, we will have to use force. Apparently, the group has a headquarters, like an office in Benghazi, that is empty at the moment. Now, again, the rash action is beyond stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, it's almost government, you know, by mouth breathers, for mouth breathers. And that's the sentiment I'm seeing. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Republican Party, especially in its current form. I don't think much of their domestic ideas. We've tried tax cuts and deregulate everything. It doesn't work. I don't know how many decades we need to do it for before they will admit that to themselves. But if there is a party that is truly not ready to lead in the world, like I find their economic ideas abhorrent, right? The Paul Ryan budget and all this. I mean, but you look at their foreign policy, and I mean, I don't even know what the hell at this point. And again, whether it's Romney, like not waiting till the bodies are cold to try to bash the president. With him. I mean, yes, I'm some hope and some glimmer of promise when I see, even Republicans saying, yeah, he stepped in it. Although Todd Aiken is on Mitt Romney's side. He did voice firm support in Mitt Romney's ideals. So he's not alone in this.
Well, you convinced me to vote for him. Wait, no. Still no.
But really not ready. And part of this is because you have a Republican Party that is so led by the base. And these are not the brightest bulbs on the face of the earth. These are not the most well-informed human beings. And yet I'm trying to do this diplomatically. Someone has to. I'm trying not to go, full-on fire-breathing here. But these are stupid people being led by stupid people. And whether that's the elected officials or the base, they're pretty much interchangeable at this point. It's stupid people being led by stupid people who end up doing stupid things. Generally with someone else's life. I'm truly not ready for primetime players. And maybe this is the original, it was Obama apologizing for American values. It was literally a tweet from the embassy saying we denounce, religious incitement. Which, by the way, is the exact same talking point that Mitt Romney and his surrogates put out. What was new, Richard Williamson, he is a Romney advisor, took the Obama is weak argument to the next level. There's a pretty compelling story that if you had a President Romney, you'd be in a different situation. For the first time since Jimmy Carter, we had an American ambassador assassinated. Blame the attack that killed Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 others on Obama's handling of the region, arguing that the Muslim world would have held the hypothetical Romney administration in much greater esteem, which would have prevented violent outbursts. Look, if you want to use Republican reality to distance yourself from the outside world, that's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. But the blatant denial, the argument, if there was a Republican in charge, those filthy animals wouldn't have done this. Like bombings in Beirut under Ronald Reagan. How about the Lockerbie? Where the plane was shot down. That wouldn't happen. That did happen under. How about Saddam Hussein invading, Kuwait? That wouldn't happen under a Republican administration. How about 9/11? Would that happen under a Republican administration? I mean, I understand it's a losing campaign making desperate stabs, but their idiot followers believe this stuff. In a country that was founded on debate and discussion, the disagreement over ideas. How can our government function with one party so removed from reality? Like, I'm not saying you have to agree with democratic ideas, and you don't have to agree with, the Democratic Party's platform, but we discuss it. You don't reject someone's reality and replace it with one of your own creation. How are we supposed to have debate and discussion? How are we supposed to move forward as one people? Even if we don't agree. This is the root of my problem with the Republican Party. It's not just that I disagree with their ideas. We can talk about that. We can talk about CBO scores and economic reports. How do you converse with someone who says, yeah, well, if we were in charge, this wouldn't happen? What do you base that on? Other than, I don't know if this is impotent dick waving, because that's what I hear.
I do think that falls under cursing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Erectile dysfunction, Richard waving.
Sword fighting, I don't know.
But that's literally all this party is capable of at the moment.
You do know who they put up as their nominee, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
I understand that no matter what opinion Mitt Romney has, if you give it enough time, he'll find another opinion. They really should have to label all Romney campaign commercials that if any opinion of his lasts more than 4 hours, please call a spin doctor.
Did you see the Jon Stewart video about Mitt Romney? The kind of humor. Jon Stewart put together a video about Mitt Romney. It was supposed to be like before his speech, they'd do this video, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot more true, I think, than people are giving it credit for. It says that Mitt Romney sat back, looked at where he failed, and he figured it out. Well, yeah, and that's how he got it this time around. Is he changed himself to be what the party wanted, And I look at that, and it's kind of like the guys that sat back in high school, and I was one of them, looked at all the cool kids and what they were doing, and as soon as we were out of high school, when I had some anonymity, I can't talk today, I employed their tactics.
Were you a poser? Is this what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a poser thing, dude. This guy's a poser.
Well, I think he's a salesman. I think
he's a great. Yeah, he
well,
learned.
I don't know about great.
Well,
but
he learned a method. It didn't work. It would have if he could have executed it better and not been on so many records voting exactly opposite of what he said and acting exactly opposite of what he says.
Well, again, I think there's no. Again, this is a separate topic. I don't think Mitt Romney has any sort of central core other than I want what I want. I want to be president. Now, what do I have to do to get there? I think that's the central value. If Mitt Romney were not running for office, do you think he would care who was mowing his lawn?
I don't care who's mowing his lawn now.
No, he cares. He said it himself. He's running for office, for Pete's sake. I can't have illegals. If he were not running for office, do you think Mitt Romney would care, other than what it cost to have his lawn done? And that's kind of my point. And it's dangerous. You want to put that man. Here's the nuclear suitcase. Good luck. Here's the football. Here are the nuclear codes. All yours. That's the man you want to. What do we do, Mr. President? This is something that comes up every election. The easy decisions, anyone can figure out. Never make it to the Oval Office. We have functionaries who take care of those sorts of things. A lot of times, as president, you get put in. There is no good decision. So which do you choose? I can think we make a pretty compelling case that Mitt Romney, is not ready to be president. But I'll take it one step further. It's a Republican Party. And again, whether it's the running of the House of Representatives the last year and a half, or their campaign, shouldn't be allowed to plan a 4th of July barbecue, let alone be handed control of the most powerful country in the history of mankind. All apologies to the Genghis Khans and Roman legions of the world.
Yeah, I disagree with that statement, though. I mean, Nero was pretty powerful.
Nero couldn't have destroyed the world 25 times over.
Yeah, but it's not because he wouldn't have had the money. I mean, if you did inflation, he would have had the money to.
He probably had the money to pull it off, but we can do it with a laptop.
I mean, he laid siege to a world in an era where they used horses to get around.
Yeah, I know, but
it's pretty impressive. I don't know that we're the strongest government in the world.
I don't know if I hold the Gauls, in that high of esteem.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying he needs esteem. I'm just saying I don't know that we're the most powerful. We might
have the most powerful military arsenal the world has ever seen. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I
okay.
mean, the folks you're bringing up literally could not comprehend, did not have the faculties to comprehend what we can do, which is like, I can sign a piece of paper, all right? If I'm the president, and we can talk about, should the president have a kill list? We just know that he does. I can sign a piece of paper. I can just pick up a phone and say, go. And an hour later, halfway across the world, someone's house blows up. I mean, ponder that for a second. That's the world we live in today. I mean, forget even the war games, Whopper, Armageddon. Would you like to play a game, Professor Falcon scenarios? When I see Sarah Palin talking about the president not having a big stick. I don't know, after 24 number twos in Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden, I don't know where you come to that reality unless you're willfully ignorant. I don't know how you come to that opinion. We'll talk more about this Romney advisor. And then some of the stuff that goes with it. I mean, at this point, is the Republican Party anything more than a chain of forwarded emails? I'll explain what I mean by that. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Or just go to thebradshaw.com. If you disagree, I would love to hear an argument otherwise. I, again, honestly can't make heads or tails out of this. Other than we need to inflame our base because we need them to show up. And whatever it takes to inflame the base, we'll do. And that scares the bejesus out of me. Take it as someone who used to run a right-wing radio station. I know what these people think, and we use that term loosely, believe, more importantly, what they don't understand. I'm not saying don't agree with. I'm saying don't understand or comprehend. Groupthink is a bitch. All right, back right after this on webcast1live.com.
I'm just saying. 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 Ching ching. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Feeling alone? God knows and He understands. Chat now with someone who cares at groundwire.net.
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker-owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents to help you, experienced, outstanding agents. Our office number is 515-276-2872. Or if you'd like to look at homes, go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, 1:58. Bradshaw with you here on a Friday afternoon. Thanks for coming along. President, Vice President, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense are all, I believe it's at Andrews, for the returning of the 4 bodies from Libya. Ambassador Stevens, Sean Smith, 2 former Navy SEALs. The quote, "We will bring justice to those who took them from us." I'm guessing a number of members of Ansar al-Sharia, are about to have a bad weekend. There was talk of, U.S. sending drones. The drones never left after the Libya uprising. They never quite left Libya, so they're there. In fact, there was talk yesterday, you could already hear them surrounding Benghazi and the areas around it. Now, the part of the problem is that this isn't like a Al-Qaeda camp in the middle of nowhere. A lot of these people live in Benghazi. And no, we're not going to go Dresden on the city. It's a little more surgical than that, but I'm guessing these people are going to have a bad day. I'm trying to get my head around this comment from the Romney advisor. That, we wouldn't have had this under President Romney. Like, what reality do you come from if you believe this to be true? Like, in a world where, again, Beirut never happened, in a world where the USS Cole never happened, or the Lockerbie, Scotland bombing, or 9/11. The first Iraq War, where IEDs don't exist. I don't get it. Maybe someone could try to explain this stunning lack of understanding is what I want to call it. But I'm sorry, you don't become a senior advisor to Mitt Romney, not knowing your ass from a hole in the ground. Much in the same way that, again, Steve King says stupid, racist, horrible things. Steve King is not stupid. He throws out red meat that he knows his constituency, his fans, his voters would like. That's what I see the Romney campaign doing. And, again, that scares me. You want to give these people control of the nation. Now, again, I'm in some ways relieved as we move through September. We're halfway through September now. Elections in November. We're almost, not quite, but almost to live boy, dead girl territory. That it would take for Mitt Romney to win the presidency. But again, I just worry about the effects because as a desperate party grows even more so, what are they going to throw out next? We've already gotten to the point where Mitt Romney literally won't wait for bodies to get cold or stories to be fully known in situations, to have light shed on them. Before throwing out, not just wrong, like factually wrong, but, well, for lack of a better word, vile attacks. And then when the timeline proves you wrong, well, you muddle the timeline and carry on anyway. They weren't kidding when they said, I'm not going to let my, campaign be dictated by fact checkers. Truth be damned. I'm running for office, for Pete's sake. Another piece that showed up yesterday, and again, was immediately, most forwarded emails are kind of absurd on their face. No one's going to send you $1,000 for forwarding an email. All right, those have been around since the 90s. But I guess, there's still millions of dollars to be made in 419 scams. So maybe some people will just believe anything. This showed up yesterday. It started on some right-wing military blog. The rumor that first it was the Obama administration, then it was the ambassador, forbade Marines like in Egypt, from carrying live ammunition. And it spread. John Potter's, Marines in Benghazi, like Bobbies in London, very leading from behind. The Breitbart people. Cairo Embassy Marines not allowed to carry live ammo. One of Glenn Beck's co-hosts. Under orders from Obama administration, no ammo for Marines at Cairo. Right-wing talk show hosts like Jay Severin. Marines under fire without ammo. Worst thing I have ever heard. I am in a rage. Well, good news for Jay Severin and the folks at Breitbart. It's not true. According to, the Marine Corps. The source of this from a site, Night Watch, a conservative intelligence blog written by John McCreary, which is actually hosted by a subsidiary of a defense contractor's lobby group. And Mother Jones was on this one pretty quick. But the Marine Corps shot it down pretty fast. But again, something like that. I mean, Dan, work with me here. You're relatively conservative, but I wouldn't call you a mouth-breathing moron.
Okay.
But when you read that the Marines at the embassy in Cairo were forbidden by Obama to carry live ammo and use live ammo, like just reading that headline,
I would really like to see proof of that.
Like that, yeah. I mean, that's.
I mean, obviously, if it's true, that's kind of problematic. But
it would be hugely problematic if it were true.
Well, I know. I'm trying to be nice.
I would say it's hugely problematic.
Well, there you go. You're such a raging gun guy. But that's you like killing people with guns.
That's me, gun lover.
But yeah, I would really like that. That seems counterproductive to having them there.
But you see, this noise machine puts it out. The followers all, again, pray to Breitbart 5 times a day.
Well, I'm sure everybody will cover it, including Beck and Hannity and Michael Savage.
I didn't listen to any Hannity yesterday, but I don't know what time this story.
You didn't get your daily Hannitizing?
No.
I turn it off and I call it sanitizing.
Look, I met Sean Hannity. He's a really nice guy.
I'm sure he is.
I don't know the whole.
They're talking heads.
Yeah, I mean, Hannity's a water carrier. Nothing more, nothing else.
Glenn Beck is going to save the world, though. He released a video yesterday outlining how he's going to do it.
He's going to save the world for only $14.95 a month, MasterCard, Visa, and American Express accepted. That's Glenn Beck's motivation.
He doesn't take Dwala?
Not yet. Too hippie communist,
I guess.
I'm sure, for him. Or let's be honest. If you're the kind of guy who can be convinced to order a survival seed bank, do you think you could set up a Dwala account? If you're the type of person who...
That's a good point.
Again, you got to know your audience here. Just getting them to success...
Did you just say he had a survival seed bank? And what is
You've never heard of the survival seed bank?
I don't want... Why would I listen?
Oh, Google. I can't do it justice. Anything I say will sound so absurd.
Is it? Are they saving seeds in the case of the apocalypse? Is that more
for when Western civilization collapses and you need to grow your own survival garden? It was originally marketed that you will have food while your neighbors starve. They thought maybe that might be a source of some mockery, and lo and behold, it was. So they changed that advertising line. But yeah, I can't do the survival seed bank justice. You'll have to. Well,
you know the survival food stuff's a Mormon religion thing, right? This is where you
get keeping 2 years.
Yeah, they're supposed to have 2 years. That's part of their religion.
Food stuff. No, I get that, but the survival seed bank was.
That's
sold
over and
to
above, but
doomsdayers, which again, as long as the world doesn't, go to hell between like the months of October and maybe early April, you're all right. Hey, grow yourself some lettuce and have a good time.
And let's talk about the event that this would take. Nuclear, I'm assuming, right?
Well, no, I mean, they're saying you have to buy into the overall system. Like, we are always, no matter where we are, we're always days away from the collapse of U.S. currency, which is why we need to buy gold from Goldline, the official, gold provider of the Glenn Beck Show, who, by the way, came under Justice Department scrutiny and had to change their entire business model.
My problem with buying gold
on
is when I'm starving to death and getting attacked from every direction. My gold is not going to save me, nor are they going to care too much about it probably.
No, again, if it ever gets to the point where you have to buy or use gold to acquire a good, that'll be the least of your problems.
I think it's a great investment, though. I mean, they made a lot of money if you invested early.
It is a great bubble. This is why the Goldline folks are so insistent. They got to keep that bubble going. But we saw this in the late 70s, early 80s as well when we went through a recession. Go look at the price of gold in 1982. As the economy recovers, the fever breaks, and they stop selling. But I don't know, maybe this arose because of the people mocking the gold bugs. But yes, they sell survival seed banks. I mean, really, it's a Looney Tunes world, and these are the folks driving the bus right now. Republicans can't get elected dog catcher without pandering to these types. They're scared to death of being primaried by a Christine O'Donnell, and what they're even more scared of is that odds are Christine O'Donnell would win a primary. Richard Murdoch, Sharon Engel. They are so held hostage by the folks who read a headline like Marines banned by Obama for carrying weapons. And they just believe it. News that fits with my personal worldview. Awesome. Anyway, just to make sure that which seems to be the number one right-wing defense these days. If you'd like a copy of the Marine Corps memo saying that you're full of it, John Potters is full of it, the Glenn Beck Show's full of it, Breitbart's full of it, I'd be more than happy to send it to you. Might help end an ugly, dinner table argument before it starts. If you find this of ease and comfort, let me know. All right. Take a break. Come back with one last segment. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/RadioBradshaw. Or just go to thebradshawshow.com. Be back right after this on webcastonelive.com.
Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I am administrative manager.
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
If we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm going to take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
I don't know if today's the day for Rebecca Black. Bradshaw with you here, 2:15 on a Friday afternoon. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com, and follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Just go to thebradshawshow.com. From the email, Jeremy, FYIGM. Always good when an email starts with, long story short, I had a glorious day in an argument with a cousin that reposts right-wing blogs 3-5 times a day. I ask him why he never says anything good about Romney. Never mentions Romney, just debunked BS that you would expect. He said he has a problem with his policies. He wants smaller government, less regulation, and less government programs. That's when I pointed out that I think it's strange. I am sticking up for his own interests that he constantly votes against. He asked what I meant. I pointed out, I knew he works for the city of Davenport, government job, as a city planner. He actually creates regulations for small businesses and families. And comes from a farming family, an industry that has deep roots in government assistance. Why are so many of them like this? Jeremy, if you can come up with a good and concise answer to that question, there's millions to be made as a campaign consultant. My, spitball take, after years of kind of living in the right-wing muck, and there's a big tribal aspect to it. And in the last 10 years, 12 years or so, there's a very big, you're right, you're smart, you're better, you're hanatized, you're one of the special people. So that, the impotent white males can feel more virile. Why do you think they're running on talking about Obama's big stick these days? Again, I'm not Freud, but I'm just saying. It gives them a set of bad guys to not just hate, but feel superior to. And again, they are the recipients of special knowledge and that they are right, they are smart, they are more patriotic, they're better Americans. It's fluffing, for lack of a better term. That's where they come from. David emails, those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Makes sense. I wouldn't necessarily call voting for Steve King an atrocity, but I get what you're saying. Brian emails, so the Muslim world has collectively lost their mind today, and there's so many reasons for it. It's hard to get my head around it. What are the top factors of this outrage? Is that we've had our drones shooting at Muslims for the past decade? Is it the fact that we need oil, so we're always poking around to make sure that doesn't get cut off? Could it be that the new internet age, people all over the world can see every little motion, movie, video, point of view anyone puts up with no way to comprehensively understand it. Plus, with the internet and smartphones, it's easier than ever to organize people to do whatever the organizers wish. There are probably even more reasons than that that could be relevant, but I can't think of any right now. For now, I guess your producer looks correct. What are we even doing over there? Sorry for the long rant. No problem, Brian. It really isn't all of the above. You know, every time we mistakenly blow up an Afghan wedding, yeah, that's going to cause problems. When a couple of morons decide to flush pages of the Quran or pee on a dead terrorist, yeah, all of these things are expressed not always in a positive way. And part of it is the mindset. I'm reminded, if you've never watched or read Generation Kill, embedded reporter lead up to the Iraq War. Without spoil, HBO did a very good job of the miniseries, but the book as well, for those of you who are still readers. There's a scene where these Marines are in Baghdad. It's after the fall of Baghdad, and it's still a dangerous place. There's gunfire, there's mortars, but they're out with a translator. And translator said, you know, these people ask, where can they put up statues of George Bush? They literally can't comprehend a free and open society. They think that George Bush is a despot like Saddam Hussein, and now that this despot has beaten that despot, we're going to replace one guy's statues with the others. In Libya. Again, not all Libyans, but among these members of Ansar al-Sharia, they can't contemplate a free society. And even the protesters who are nonviolent, who are just there because they're angry and outraged. More often than not, you will find that they don't know a lot about our society. Be kind of like asking a tea party or the difference between, Sunnis and Shiites. Like a dog watching TV, they just kind of do this a little bit. They don't know. I mean, the concept of freedom of speech and freedom of religion is a foreign one, in the most literal meaning of the word, to them. Generally, where they get this sense of outrage and rage, and with it a sense of purpose, again, are from leaders looking to manipulate them, looking to lord over them. They're told what they need to know to be outraged. This is what America believes of Islam. This is what all Americans think. This is what the U.S. government thinks of Islam. And you, by association. And you're talking with people who ask a gang member why they shoot someone who just comes down their block. Why? This is my block. Why do you defend it? It's all I've got. For a lot of people, their religious belief is literally all they have. There is no easy solution. Brian, you mentioned all of these things. It really isn't all of the above. And if you're looking for a simple solution to complicated problems, well, good news is it doesn't disqualify you from being the 43rd president of the United States. The bad news is it tends to cause further issues. And this, does cause problems. And while I wish we lived in a country where people who loudly and proudly offer very simple solutions to very complicated issues would be laughed at. I know that's not the case. So whether, again, it's forwarded emails that turn into legitimate right-wing talking points, Romney advisors who create fiction. There's a fiction that makes their base more comfortable, so it will be easily adopted, make it through the mental filters, and taken as absolute gospel. I've heard Republicans say that, we need to do what Reagan would do. Well, we know what Reagan would do. We have the historical record. He cut and run. Beirut bombing, we're leaving. That's what Reagan did. That's reality. But in their sort of fever dream, wishful reality that bears very little resemblance to our own, I'm sure there were, ass kickings and bazookas and probably Reagan riding in on a horse and personally kicking a terrorist in the nards or something. I don't know, just silly. So I'm sure it's going to be an eventful weekend, and when we reconvene on Monday, we can break it down again. Real quick before we go, because I almost have to give credit to this one. 3 elected officials in Kansas, including their Secretary of State, Chris Kowak, who is a Romney advisor, mentioned yesterday that they may keep Barack Obama off the ballot in Kansas because they're not sure of his citizenry. We literally have official Secretary of State birthers in the state of Kansas. So I guess we have to add that now to the list of what's the matter with Kansas. Again, a couple of things here. I mean, this isn't some rascal scooter bound, don't tread on me, keep your government hands, off my Medicare, Tea Party or moron. I'm sorry, Tea Parties are for little girls. This is the Secretary of State of Kansas and an official Romney advisor, going full birther in 2012. That's disturbing enough. But with what's going on in the world the past couple of days, now's the time you think a birth certificate is a high priority? With everything going on, this is my number one issue right now. I'm going to make a public announcement about this. Again, I don't know if I can put myself in those people's shoes. But then again, maybe it just takes a certain level of cognitive dissonance to support Mitt Romney in the first place. Mitt Romney was interviewed by ABC News. He offered a definition of middle class. According to Mitt Romney, middle income is $200,000 to $250,000. That's middle class. Just so we're aware. And again, while it's kind of a laughable number by Romney, I remember the 08 debates. I don't remember who was. It might have been Wolf Blitzer. And after seeing his performance on Jeopardy, it kind of makes sense. Saying that, 2 college professors making $60,000 a year, middle class. That's pushing it. Now, I mean, this is, ludicrous speed. 4% of our country. That's the proportion that makes $200,000 and above. That's what he's talking about here. I don't know at this point. I'm usually pretty good at putting these things in context, at least why you would say it, even if I don't agree with it. Or I think it's this one I have a hard time. I mean, other than just at a certain level, you no longer have to interact with normal society, and you kind of lose contact with it. So, congratulations for all of you people bringing in $225,000 a year. You're officially middle class. Kudos. All right, email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, at Radio Bradshaw, or just go to thebradshawshow.com. It's got links to show archives, the audio feed, even the latest tweets on there, so you can see what glorious missives I have sent to the peoples. So check out thebradshawshow.com, and we'll reconvene on Monday, and we'll see if the world is still burning. Here's hoping not. See you then. Thanks for watching here on webcast1live.com.